All right, Grand Rising, Grand Arrival, Grand Return. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sophia of the AmaruKhan Band of Indians, and this is our astroturography Tree of Life yearly progression sun sign decan or sun sign prediction wrap up. We were in this energy of the Sun card, which is the Three of Pentacles from oh, that's a good question. Hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all the exact dates. I have it written down and I had it open. All right, from July the 1st through August the 6th. Today is August the 5th. Happy Cinco de Agosto, the day of the chair. Don't forget to celebrate it by sitting in your favorite folding chair, having some drinks down by the river if possible. So we were in Three of Pentacles energy from July the 1st, like I said, to August the 6th. And Three of Pentacles is good results in teamwork. I would like to just rehash that my predictions was basically on point. What kind of good results and what kind of teamwork did we see? Well, let's start with the attempt to silence Trump. That was a huge teamwork effort. They didn't. They had some good results. They weren't as good as they had hoped. Of course, obviously, they wished to remove Trump as a threat, but that didn't happen. So that was a very good effort that they did. That turned out well. Was another good effort that they were able to accomplish well. If you look at the Olympics and their insane desire to present Jezebel in a format that we will all go along with, you will also see that that's basically what they attempted to do. They tried to rebrand Jezebel from being this quiet female who sat in the background, only able to kind of follow after either her father or the king or whatever, and they tried to bring her image to life and make her seem larger than life. Not only could she be a woman, she could be a man dressed as a woman. She could come in any number of forms. That whole thing was a coordinated effort, a team effort to rebrand Jezebel. I don't think that one worked out so well, but they did pull it off. They had to work as a team to pull that imagery off, and the whole thing with the horse and all of that, literally tying into this energy of good results and teamwork, tying all of their little a lot of their little, slick stuff that they be doing into this energy. So as you can see, the good results and the teamwork, there was no doubt about it. They intended to utilize that energy to the best of their ability. Again, however, I don't think it was as good as they would have hoped. So for me personally, the good results and teamwork that I saw was as I was, working with the kids in the summer camp and the people there. I saw a lot of good results from that. I was able to get a lot done. I was able to make it through the entire time period. It worked out very, very well. So I also did see good results, not in every area as I had expected, but I really should have been looking at my Cancer house. So that's another thing that I'll add. I already did the video for the Mercury energy that's going to start tomorrow, but for the next one, when we go into Eight of Swords energy after the Mercury energy, I'll bring that up in my initial video to take a look at what house this is going to affect you personally in, and that's the house that you can expect to see some motion in this area. All right, so as you remember, we were supposed to transmute this Three of Pentacles energy with Three of Cups energy, which is happiness and gratitude. But the difference being you're going to be celebrating with a crowd as opposed to being in a formal setting. So that's where a lot of people got it wrong. They did all of this good results and teamwork things within these formal settings, i.e., a rally, i.e., a Olympic ceremony, i.e., other things that they were doing. One of the things I mentioned before I go too far, because I don't want to forget, I mentioned that, oh, well, actually, let me do this part. And we were supposed to transmute this through the 10th house of Cancer, which was to follow your emotions, be compassionate, and forgive. And so in my predictions video at the beginning of this cycle, I had said that it would give me no greater joy than to see the media be honest. And honestly, that did not happen. When the issue happened with Trump, they were completely dishonest about, and are still being completely dishonest about that whole entire scenario. As a matter of fact, it seems as if the media is complicit with covering up exactly what happened. The details that are out and have come out are not accurate, in my opinion. And to make matters worse, you have a lot of the leftists who lack general basic compassion for people who are shot at, which we all should have compassion for people who are shot at. They literally just said it was made up. They said that he faked it. They said the Secret Service faked it. They totally went into tinfoil hat mode, which I've seen them do over the last 12 years. Well, not even longer than that, since 2012. 20 years. 12, 24, yeah, 12 years since 2012. And Obama was going into his second term, and I heard about the kids that were targeted overseas as a result of his bombs and whatever. I've seen people do this, but this was the most foul, one of the most foul things I've ever seen, because you had people right after the thing happened. The media, again, because they were just being dishonest, they didn't report the truth of the seriousness of this kind of thing. And then you immediately had their conspiracy theorists, they call them Blue Anon, the conservatives call them Blue Anon. You have these people immediately going into that didn't happen, it's not real. And many of my followers too, I've seen people are saying, hey, it didn't really happen, it's this or that. And I just feel like, again, you're supposed to be compassionate. That is one of the main factors for transmuting this energy, was to be compassionate. So you saw a lot of people, especially people who have literally actually been shot at or shot in a quote unquote black community, be very compassionate towards this man. And that was a little surprising to me. And it remains to, it keeps us on track with some of the other stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about, or I refuse to talk about until I have what I was promised, which I still don't have. So, but anyway, I'm impressed by the response of the people, and I'm disappointed by the response of the media. The media had an opportunity to do the right thing, to really get it together and report this thing honestly, because the media had cameras there, lots of cameras, which if you probably don't know anything about the Trump campaign, Trump has been doing rallies like this with 50,000, 100,000 people since 2015. This has not changed. Every time he does a rally, there's 50 to 100,000 people every single time. And so what happened was the media stopped covering these rallies. But at this particular rally, the media was there, and they had their cameras there, and they had left their cameras on him, which they never do. So I do believe the media is being complicit with this obvious assassination attempt by the Secret Service, or whoever called it. You may or may not have heard that Sheila Jackson Lee, who recently passed, is the one who basically in Congress was the supervisor of the Secret Service. And so that may or may not be related to that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, so I'm not going to go into that. But that's just, I find that to be interesting, that right after this thing happens, Biden is kind of forced out So what the media did tell the truth about, which is like, really, they started to tell the truth about Biden. Biden has been out of his mind for a long time, way before he started to run for president this time. Ever since 2016, 2016 was his sharpest moments. If they want to put him in, they should have done it at that time. But Hillary, Jezebel just can't. She couldn't wait no more. She felt like this was her opportunity. She was going to win, so on and so forth. But that's not what happened. So what the media did decide to tell the truth about, which I couldn't believe, was about Uncle Joe. It's like, okay, so y'all could tell the truth about this thing and bring the country some peace and kind of bring people together and let people calm down, but instead you tell the truth about Uncle Joe. So again, my predictions are true. I assumed it was going to be, they were going to tell the truth about something that was, important, useful. Instead, they told the truth about Uncle Joe. Okay, all right. So it is a prediction that I made that is true. Weird, but true. So I'm counting that one as accurate. So hopefully in your personal lives, some of the things that you may have seen happen is that as far as the teamwork, the good results in the teamwork, you will have to look to where your Cancer house is. That's more than likely where it would have shown up. Well, the happiness and gratitude should have shown up. No, probably the good results in teamwork probably would have showed up in your Cancer house, more than likely. That's what my guess is. My personal guess is we'll do some more looking into that for next go around. But overall, I think that exactly what I predicted showed up. I think that exactly what I suggested for transmuting the energy was accurate. I know many people failed this test. They did not forgive. They did not be compassionate. They continue to be out of alignment with the energy. I wish you much peace and much blessings, but you're out of alignment with the energy, and moving forward, that's really going to be not so good for you. So I would, if it were me, I would spend less time looking at what's going on with the election. Some people are just not capable, like I am, of gathering the information and not taking position. As I've mentioned, I've had information that is relevant to this election since 2022, and I have not saying anything about it because I have a prerequisite, meaning I have something I have to receive before I'm willing to say what needs to be said. And in the meantime, they got to figure out what to do because I'm not opening my mouth until my requirements are met. And there are people who are incapable of doing information like that. Meaning, if you are a spiritual person and you're doing work for the spirit realm, even on a small level, even just within your family, I'm on the internet, but I don't have like 1,000 followers. You know what I mean? I'm just, a little old person putting out my stuff, doing what I do. So even on a small level, the Most High is required to the Most High will not be mocked. Let me put it that way. He will not be mocked by having his prophets and his prophetesses operate without what they need. And if you don't have what you need, then you need to probably not say anything about certain things until you do. So for me, I have this thing that I know no one else knows that needs to be said, but I already told them way back when they told it to me, I'm not saying nothing until, number one, I wanted to know who the enemy was. Now I know for sure we're dealing with Jezebel, a fight between Jezebel's spirit and the Antichrist spirit. So that requirement has been met. My second requirement is financial based. So until I have the financial resources that I command and I demand, I'm not saying anything. I'll just keep my mouth shut. And if it's all the way through the election and it doesn't happen the way that they want it to happen, so be it. It's not going to affect me because I have my standards. So I would suggest that if you are a spiritual person, you're doing spiritual work, you set your standards. Now, this is going to go into some information that I'll be talking about as we go through the month, but I'll go ahead and mention it now since we're into August. Our ecclesiastical year, ecclesiastical has to deal with finances because the spirit is our provider. God, creator, is our provider. So anything related to the monetary needs have to be taken through an ecclesiastical timeline. Okay, so a lot of people, y'all don't have what y'all need because y'all refuse to go back into the church. I don't know what to tell you. I can't do anything to help you. But for those of us who want to be on the actual divine timeline, as far as comes to finances, you have to be on the ecclesiastical timeline. From right now through the end of the month, this is like December for the ecclesiastical timeline, for your money timeline. So this is why you have a quote unquote Black Monday event today, because these people know they weren't supposed to have this money. So now they have to dump all of it before they get to September the 1st in order to be where they're supposed to be based on their actual contracts that they have. This is what's going on. I know no one understands any of this, but why have a stock market crash starting on Friday? It actually started on Friday with the Japanese yen, because I follow this stuff very closely. So why have a stock market crash on Friday that's now showing up in the American stock market on Monday, and no government official has made any comments. Not Janet Yellen, not Kamala, not Uncle Joe, Secretary of State, anybody. Nobody is saying anything. And so that's just to tell you they know that they have to give back the stuff that they see, because without making this video too long, when they pushed the stock market up as high as they did, right? They had to make a sacrifice to someone in order to get that done. My guess is going to be the Antichrist, because he's a public facing sort of demon, and Jezebel's usually behind the scenes. So I'm guessing it's the Antichrist. So what they were supposed to offer, what was supposed to happen, is that I guess sometime in the month of July, they were supposed to sacrifice Trump. That was the deal. Okay, I'll pump your stock market up, but when the time comes, you have to sacrifice Trump. Well, they got and my guess is the person who's affiliated with the demonic nine, who recently passed, is probably the one who made this deal. Just a guess. So they couldn't deliver, and Trump still walks among us, and now they have to pay. They didn't get that pump in the stock market for nothing. It comes at a cost. And so they have to pay. And this is, in my opinion, what you're seeing. You're seeing that payment being extracted. Why? Because all the books have to be settled by the end of the year, but the ecclesiastical year starts September the 1st. So no, this wouldn't happen in December. This has to happen in August, because the money year, the provider year, because the creator is our provider, that all those books have to be evened out by the end of the month. So if you take this month, this is how it applies to you. If you take this month and you look back over what you requested over the last year, like me, I have an actual contract because I take this very seriously. I'm going to be reviewing my contract, seeing what things I need to add, what things I did receive, what things I didn't receive, noting those things down. My contract is pretty extensive because I like detailed notes, and setting my contract up for the next year. But because I know that I've done the work and I'm in the position where I'm doing the right thing, all the stuff that I asked for has to show up by the end of the month. It has to be there because I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right position. And so a lot of you all, I'm going to say you're not, because you still, or I will say that you should carefully look at yourself and not just assume that you've been doing the right things, and ask your spirit team, are you in alignment? And the reason why I will say that is because there are quite a few individuals who are still relishing in the losses that others are taking. I do not relish in $1 trillion, $2 trillion being wiped out of the stock market. I know that's somebody's retirement, that's somebody's savings, that's somebody's hard-earned money, that's some day traders, everything. Crypto markets are getting hammered. I do understand that. And as a person who has done trading, I also understand that trading is very volatile, and you can get overzealous and really make mistakes. So I totally understand that this is not, this is really not good on any level. This is really, really bad for all the parties involved, including on the Forex, which is where I typically trade. And so, or it could be good depending on what your intel was looking like, or, how long you could hold out it going to sky highs that it's never done before. It depends on what position you're in. So all I'm saying personally, to you all is that take this month to really, really get down, make a contract with what you want to see happen over the next year and what you're expecting to happen this year, and be clear about it and review it. If you wrote it down, bring it back up, take a look at it, really be clear about what's going on, and actually evaluate yourself, what did you promise the creator that you were going to do, and evaluate um your performance on that, honestly, and then evaluate the performance of the creator. Did your spirit team show up in the way that they were supposed to? And I will say, in my case, my spirit team has let me down, and I'm already petitioning the creator, letting them know, hey, you got 30 days left before this whole ecclesiastical new year starts. um these people have let me down, so what can we do about that? How can we correct this behavior, this before the year goes down and I'm starting my ecclesiastical new year in the same position as 2023, when we clearly had a contract. So the Most High will not be mocked. But if you don't have records, if you don't write it down, if you don't make it clear, then you get what you get. This thing has to be taken just as seriously as a job. At least that's how I take it. I intend to get my money, my sustenance that I need to care for myself from the creator. And I'm not really letting go of that until it happens. I'm not. So everybody can do whatever they want. This is just my reflections. Again, this the way that I'm reading the energy is spot on. You can see it. It really can't be denied. Not that it could be denied before, but now that I'm doing videos and also reviewing them and proving this is the energy assigned with this time, and you saw this show up, you can't pretend like I'm just making it up. I mean, you could if you want to. Feel free to continue to follow me. But however, there has to be recompense for some of these things. So now I kind of know what to ask for. Also, well, most of y'all are not in the lunar group, but for the ones who are in the lunar group, go back over the things that you've been asking for the last year from the spirit realm with your candles and stuff like that. Look back at the spirit intelligences and see how much what you specifically asked for has shown up, because everybody's got to account for it. No, we're not through the entire year, so you can't judge everybody, but you should see progress in most of these areas. And if you don't see progress, then there's something wrong. People always people like to say that, oh, you don't have to see progress in order to know whether something's right or wrong. No, if you don't see progress, the new moon to the full moon in a sign is 5 months. If you don't see progress on something that you're working on within 5 months, by the time you go from the new moon to the full moon in that sign, there might be some interference and you need to address it. It could be a spirit spouse, which, people had problem with. It could be the Jezebel spirit is attached to you. It could be the Antichrist spirit is attached to you. And they're not even attached to you personally. The way that the Jezebel and the Antichrist spirit work is the Jezebel spirit, it gets very close to you, and it becomes the closest person to you. And they funnel information to the Antichrist spirit, who messes up everything that you try to do. So, for example, let's say you have a friend and you're friends with this person and you tell them all the stuff that you're working on. Well, all of a sudden, everything that you're working on, let's say, for example, you want to be a singer like me, and you want to start a band like I do, and you have close friends who you're like, yeah, I really want to start this band, this and that. And so basically every time you get in a position where you can, make the jump to start the band, something happens. Well, that's the Antichrist as the public facing entity interfering with what you're doing. This is how they work. They work together in tandem again. And as like I mentioned in the lunar group, it's not, that's not the same spirit that's working for every single thing, but the majority of what we as a people are dealing with, except like separate from the succubus, incubus, onoskelis spirits, because that's a totally different thing. This is just like with your forward movement, with your progress, what you're trying to achieve. This is what's happening. You have a person who is holding this Jezebel spirit that's really, really close. And remember, Jezebel spirit is a spirit of bitterness. It's people who are bitter about their situations, people who are dissatisfied with their lives, people who reflect on their life and they don't think that they've done anything wrong, and they have no things they can look at and say, oh yeah, I did this wrong and I did that wrong. These people are more than likely bitter. They're harboring bitterness and they're hiding it. They could be hiding it even from themselves, but it doesn't matter if they're hiding it from themselves, hiding it from you, hiding it from ever. Jezebel can attach right to, it's like the spirit rides the memory. So if you have the memory in there, and let's say you don't even remember the memory, you don't even know that the memory is there, right? Jezebel is just hiding. She's just sitting on the memory, taking in all the information from all the different people you're around, helping you get, helping these individuals get really close to people, so that as soon as they're close to somebody, they can take off and go in the opposite direction and do the thing that they wasn't supposed to do. This is what you have going on. And so I only mention all of that to say that I want people to be aware of how these spirits work. I'm going to do a separate video on it, but it just relates to this because this is the energy we just came out of. These in the spirit realm, this could look like with the Three of Pentacles, the hard work and the teamwork coming against you, plotting and planning on you. So it's not like, this is what is available to everybody. So this time period we just came out, these people are plotting and planning on you, on how they're going to take you out. And then the next energy we start tomorrow is the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is stabbing you in the back with it. So some of y'all are going to get stabbed in the back. And I'm only saying it like this because it is my hope and prayer that you all will do the work so that you don't, or at least follow my transmutation report so that you can transmute out of this energy and you don't get stuck in it. A lot of people are going to are going to get stuck in it. A lot of people are going to self-delete. You don't need to be one of those people, because actually this is the month where you're supposed to be cut it, the opposite of the Ten of Swords is the Ten of Wands. This is the month where you're supposed to carry your own burdens, and have tunnel vision on what you want and what you expect to get. This is the month. This is what this literal month coming up means. And a lot of people they're not going to be doing that. They're going to be, doing all kinds of other stuff instead of focusing on themselves and their own burdens and their own lists and their own stuff that they want. Like, I don't care what's going on in the stock market. It don't affect me. I don't got no money in the market. So am I going to spend all day looking at what's going on in the market so that I can comment on it? No, I'm just gathering information as I go and as it's necessary. Reporting it out when it's relevant, and if it's not relevant, I have that information. I remember, oh yeah, Cinco de Agosto, they made sure that they did not give us a celebratory day. They made sure to take our holiday and turn it into Black Monday. Of course it would be Black Monday. Cinco de Agosto, where the ancestors rose out the river and fought back those white people. What you think was going to happen? This is every August the 5th forever. They have already set out the trajectory. So every August 5th is going to be something that's humiliating and traumatizing to the oppressors of those people. That's what these holidays are. Eventually they'll rebrand the holiday like they did Juneteenth or whatever, but for right now, they're going to be embarrassing the Jezebel spirit and torturing. I'm cool with that. You think I'm not celebrating? 100% I'm celebrating. Not celebrating the torture, but celebrating the ancestors, that they are able to get their revenge as they see fit. It's not up to me when it's time for me to get revenge on those who are attacking me. You'll see it. You will see it, and you will be like, wasn't Sophia talking about taking this group out and how terrible they were? What's up with that? Yeah, it's gonna be obvious. It's gonna be obvious for everyone to see. Believe me. So, but that's how it is supposed to be for everybody. It's not just because these people are not just affecting one person, they're affecting more than one person. But you, as one person, have the power to embarrass the Jezebel spirit. That's what Jehu did. The Jehu, who's going to be the king, he embarrassed Jezebel by himself. What did he do? He rode up to the castle on the horse. Her silly self is sitting in the window, and he tells the eunuchs, push her. And they push her, no problem. She falls and gets eaten by the dogs. So that's what I expect to happen to my enemies in general. I expect to push them out the window. No, I don't have to do the pushing. I expect someone else, hey, take care of them for me. Whoever comes and takes care of them, and there's no remains. That's what I expect to see. When the Most High and his spirit team come to ride for me. And that's available to everyone, but it's only available to you if you're doing the work, if you're honest with yourself, if you are, actively trying to transmute the energy. You can't just be riding the wave of whatever energy that's coming in. You have to be co-creating. It's available to those who co-create, and those who choose not to co-create with the creator are going to get the energies as they come in. They're going to have to deal with them as they come in. We on this channel believe in co-creating with the creator. We believe that there's work that has to be done. So another example of this is I just listened to Fleur Broom did a live stream like 2 weeks ago, and I just finished listening to it. In the live stream, she talks about how she was able to jump domes. And because she jumped domes by going to she switched from the north hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, and then kind of came back up and went around. But because she switched the domes, the way that she did, she is now able to access all the domes and some other stuff that she had not had access to before. And I say that this is an example of that because now, instead of being in this Three of Coins energy where you're just kind of celebrating by yourself in a very solemn kind of scenario, now she is celebrating informally with a bunch of people, and apparently informally with some other people too, which anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's her own personal stuff. But that's exactly what it should look like. It should look like you tying in with other energy, perhaps in other domes, and you guys are able to just connect freely. So that's a perfect example of somebody who transmuted the energy, and she did it in an unconventional way, but she listened to her spirit and she followed the different entities who told her where to go and so on and so forth. So this kind of stuff is not uncalled for. It's not impossible. And you don't have to be all super spiritual and all of that to get it done. That's not what it's about. It's about determining that you're going to co-create with the creator. So because she took this action of traveling when she did as a part of her method of co-creating with the creator, she has gotten a result of being able to access multiple domes at a time. Now, that's something everybody could have and should have some sort of thing like that. That's pretty much how it works. And it's interesting to see it on other people and see it show up and, have them attributed to other things, but it still fits exactly in with what I'm talking about over here. So, that is my recap on the Three of Coins energy, just to say that so far my predictions are correct. They're accurate. I'm seeing them show up exactly. Even some of the stuff I'm saying in the videos is showing up pretty precisely. So it's always good to check yourself as a person who does spiritual work for accuracy. And I would say that I've been accurate. And I'm not deliberately misleading people with what I'm saying. So you can, take that with a grain of salt, or whatever it is you take. I'm just, I'm required to review my work and make sure I'm not being inaccurate. That's my own self requirement as a as a mercurial being. So I hope this meets everyone well. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.